In this session, we're going to look at how to set up your Omni CMS forms so that it sends a confirmation email or a response email automatically to your registrant. So you can see I have a sort of little sample form I built here for this purpose here, confirmation email test, and I'm going to go into edit on it. I've got an option here. You want to do an email confirmation test, basically to populate some space in here. They can choose between yes and also yes. But what's important here is I have a single line text field asking for the user's email address. For what email address? And that's the label, which means it's what it says. The name, the ID, in this case, is what email address, no caps, no spaces, just like it would be generated. This is going to be very important. This ID is when we get a little further down. So you'll want to note that when you want to set up these sort of confirmation email abilities. I've got it set to required. I've got a validation set to email address with a failure message. Please enter a valid email address. The validation basically sets it up so if they don't enter something that matches a standard email address sort of format, something at something dot whatever, then it's not going to accept it. It's going to ask them for a valid email address. So we've got that set up. And here's our email messages. And the first one is set up just like you would typically think. It's set up to send the responses to this, to, in this case, my email address, right? Include all submitted values would include those answers. And where it's from, subject email confirmation test. And that's what we always do for these. So to add a confirmation that will go to the person who filled it out instead, we want to add another one of these. So I'm going to come down here to the add button right underneath this and click it. Okay, so the two is the important thing here. Remember our ID from earlier. We're going to enter that ID here between a set of the pointing brackets. By pointing brackets on my keyboard, these are the two keys to the right of the P key in the upper right with the shift key depressed. You'll end up with these brackets. So that ID for this item was what email address, no caps, no spaces. Okay, so bracket 1, bracket 2, what? You see it's already on there. In my case, yours may not. And notice it closes it with another double brackets. This is referring it back to the answer provided in that earlier question, is basically what the command is. So it automatically will pull that email address and send to it. It doesn't have to be entered any other way. Who is it from? From in this case, you probably don't want to do something like the others that may not exist. You might want this to be your email address. You may want this to be whatever specialized email address you set up for your event or whatever like that, so that they can reply to this and reply directly back for more information. In this case, I'm just going to put my personal email address there. It populated the subject with it, which we don't want. Subject, whatever you want the subject line to this email to that user might be. I might say, thank you for your registration. Or you could say your registration's gone through successfully. You could mention your event in there, whatever. The body in this case is going to be whatever message you want to give that user. In this case, I might do something simple like, thank you for your registration, of course. You'll hear back from us soon. Of course, you could do all kinds of things with the body in this. This is a great example of something where, say you wanted people to register for a Zoom event, but you didn't just want to post it openly on a web page somewhere. You could provide that link in the body for this. The user would get it, and you would never have openly placed it out there for other people to find, so to speak. You could do that. You could use this as a confirmation that their response went through. It's like your response went through successfully, and whatever else you would want in the body of this email. Just some ideas. Include all submitted values. So we do that earlier for the items we receive when people registers because we want their answers, right? In this case, if you check that, they're going to get basically list of their answers to the questions. That may or may not be important to you, depending on, you may just want to use this as an email confirmation it went through fine. Or you may want to send them something that confirms all their answers in case they need to make some kind of correction with you. So it's up to you. You could select this or not select it and be fine. Okay, we've got this all set up. And I'm going to save and publish it. Do our version description. Okay. And I've got this page over here that I use for testing out things. And I'm going to go into edit mode for it. And I'm going to put this form on the page. Open up my assets. There it is. Insert it. Publish it. Use the link to view a new window. Come down to the form. And yes or also yes. Let's go with also yes because it's more fun. For what email address? I'm going to put mine here. I'm going to submit. Okay, so we've got our confirmation test underway message. That's usually your success message for the user on the web page. We're, of course, doing an email confirmation. So I'm going to switch over to my email here. And you can see there's one from me. And if I click on that and look, I've got thank you for your registration. Thank you for your registration. You will hear back from us soon. So that's how you would set up an email confirmation in your forms that you can send to your users with whatever info you want to send them. Thank you and have a good day.